Hey yo, how's everybody doing? What's up, my zingers? What's up today? We're playing some Brawlhalla, sticking with the twos. Now, despite the fact that the loadouts are the exact same and the characters are the exact same, this is actually recorded recently. And I just realized that you guys can see the Discord overlay in the corner. I did not notice that before. So the Discord overlay visually works. Uh, Although I don't think that it works. Hold on, let me quickly check that. Uh, Let me see. No. No, you can't hear either of us. So, the Discord overlay is going to stay on because these games are pretty good and I want to keep them. So, we're going to keep that Discord overlay. So, I guess now you know what our screen names on Discord are. Uh you're just gonna know that now, as it turns out. Now, the thing is, okay, so we have not played 2v2s since the last video uploaded, since before the last video uploaded. So, and neither of us have played 2v2s. Watch as I craft, watch as I carefully craft our excuse. But neither of us have played 2v2s for like a week at this point. So that therefore I attribute a lot of the weirdness in these games to the fact that this is the first Brawlhalla game that I played that day, as well as the fact that this is the first time I've played 2v2s in a very long time. So, and also my teammate did disconnect halfway through this game. So that's another thing that happened. So, how do we like our Loki and Arcadia signatures? Do you like them with a side of salt? If you do, then you're in luck because I provided plenty of salt. We both did during this game. We were very upset by this. We were very upset by this game. We kind of sort of just got beat up a lot, as it turns out, as you do when you play Brawlhalla. Uh, the team synergy's bad. I lock in, sidelight Nair, knocking him up into the air right in front of him. He doesn't do a follow up. I'm like retreating in super weird ways, so it's like they're just catching me with side sig or weird stuff is happening. Like I lock in some reads against the Loki, and it seems like a lot of his movement. Like I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job against him for a little while. He is really just overutilizing his sigs, and it does seem like we get some really good stuff going. But it's just our start was so bad, and then there I down air instead of side air, and I don't get back to stage. But we're gonna move on to the next game against this Artemis and Reno, and this happened immediately afterwards, and we're sort of starting to calibrate a little bit. So we've got to remember we are in low gold on 2v2s, so we are not doing too hot on the rankings. If you guys keep up with my 1v1 series, I'm currently hovering around like 1750. I don't so it's like my twos is pretty decent, but the ranking that we're currently sitting at for 2v2s is just barely above 1400, sometimes below it, which is, just almost gold. So clearly that's not good. We're going to want to get that higher. So we're working on it, but what happens in a lot of our games is we sort of just try to turn it into two. I catch the dodge in read, by the way, because I'm cracked. I'm just like cracked like never before. So of course get the Artemis to yellow in one string. But then I missed the follow up against the Reno. He's literally positioned. I position myself perfectly, and then I don't go for the attack, which is pretty wild. I try to keep them off me with the sword moves, which I do a pretty decent job of. Trying to go for strings with sword is kind of wild. My opponent hits me with that my teammate hits me with that nice clean side light into recovery. Very clean. Of course nobody expects it. Nobody expects the side light recovery, especially from their own teammate. Uh just decent sig utilization to try to get them in their spots where they're comfortable. We almost lock in. I do lock in several neutralites or several neutral layers against the Artemis because I've kind of I meant to. I do recall not misinputting there and side lighting instead of neutral lighting or side lighting instead of neutral lighting. So you'll notice I'm falling with a lot of attacks. I'm trying to work on my neutral game with sword, and I think I do a pretty decent job of it. But you'll notice there I was completely 100% focused on the Reno, not paying any attention to the Artemis at all, because I'm still in one's brain. Like I treat this like a 1v1, and I sort of forget I have two opponents and a teammate at times. So I just hyper focus on one of the players and I try to lock in stuff against them. So like right here, the I my eyes are not even watching my opponent in the Artemis at all. But luckily he does get it done without my help. And we do some decent like we do okay trying to get this Reno, but he holds on for much longer than he probably should. That was almost a good combo. We the neutralite into D-Sig on Roland Artemis. So we move on to this next game against an Ember and a Fate. Now this game was very interesting. Now if you pay attention to me this game and not my friend here, you'll notice in a lot of the 1v1 situations I get into, like against this Ember, do you kind of see? Like I position myself just out of range of their side sig and then they go for it anyway. So like if we were able to permanently get situated in those type of positions where we 1v1, but they actually really work together pretty well, and you notice I just kind of drift off the stage. I had no movement options whatsoever there, and I was right next to the stage and just wasn't close enough to it. So we do get off to a pretty poor start, and then what I start doing is I start falling with side air way too much. I start falling with side air and whiffing it, or falling with down air and whiffing it. So I'm trying to land back to stage with attacks, and a lot of them are missing. So what I really should do is probably stay grounded and try to space away from their sig radius. Like right here, like I was locking in a string against this Ember. Just locking in some very easy moves. Sometimes falling with the side air is okay if I don't overdo it. But I really just sort of forget that I have a teammate. And there I just kind of save him. But then I'll like stare in the wrong direction and then they'll just easy get the side sig on me. Like not even difficult. Uh yeah, like I think we're not doing horrible, but the thing is again, I sort of go into the 1v1 brain where I throw the weapon down like I need to confirm this kill because like I'm thinking like and this is a 1v1 situation. I totally forget that the Artemis is just over there. You'll notice I do kind of lock in the reads. Like I predict what they're going to do when they're falling a lot and I do pull up with the like neutralite like the neutral air like a couple times. So that was almost a team combo but they managed to dodge out of it. It wasn't true at all, but it was kind of like a freestyle thing that might have worked if they didn't dodge. You'll notice, like, try to count how many times I land with a light attack with either of my weapons and it doesn't hit, or I just try, yeah, or I just position myself right next to my opponent and I don't punish them. I don't even try to like hit them, or I'll just like hover right next to where they're gonna be and then downlight. It should theoretically be pretty easy to punish this. Like, I just realized they weren't going to dodge there. And my opponent just gets a nice jump read here, if I'm remembering. Yeah, so, like, they go for a jump side air, and I was not on... I was on the ground when they started inputting the jump side air, so just completely in my head. Like, I don't know why I jumped. So we go into this game against these two Amugis, and I think this is the last game. Yeah, this is the last game. And this is when I feel like we both kind of came into our own. Now these Mugis were also not great at neutral. Like, I got away with a lot of stuff. Like my edge guarding felt really easy against both of them when I could get them into a 1v1 situation. They really were just Sig spammers. Like, I know that this character has pretty strong Sigs, but they were definitely not like utilizing them very well at all. Like, I don't know. I didn't get hit by too many, and they weren't doing like enough damage. Like, cause I have a lot of defense on this character, especially. So it really was just a matter of being patient and waiting for them to do something silly like gravity cancel there. It really was just a lot of side sigs and a lot of like not dodging when they probably should, kind of like that string I got. Or they'll rely on falling with there is a section of this game where I do manage to get into a 1v1 situation against the one of the Amugis. I think it's here. Where I pretty much just try my best to keep him off stage, and he definitely like hovers around there a lot, and I'm getting jump stairs, I'm getting jump stairs, forcing a dodge, and then hovering back to stage because he has to go back to stage at some point. There I could have even tried down air, but I'm just going for the safer move. I'm going for that neutral light, and eventually I do start to realize that their positioning gets exploited by side air, like side light like this. I realize a lot of their like hover in down air stuff gets kind of countered really bad by like side light. So I punished that same move a couple times, punished the recovery back to stage, and then again I kind of forget that there's another guy on the other side of the stage here. I kind of forget that there's two of them, which is a problem. That's just 2v2 experience that I need. Eventually, I think this does go to a 2v1, a 2v1 scenario. I think it does, yeah. Yes, my opponent is my a teammate is currently not with any of their stocks. So, they got way too comfortable here, I think. Like they literally start like the guy like the light red Amugi you'll notice like starts charging a Sig, and obviously he's like in range for that. The other guy tries to get me with a Sig. I am also of course utilizing Sigs that don't work, but I do look at a nice sequence of weapon throw down and then reading the fact that they're not dodging, weapon throwing just a millisecond earlier than they did, I think was really nice there. There's a cool sequence where he gets back to stage and then I do get the kill here. Weapon throw up. Side air, I think? No, neutral light and then, yeah, neutral light then weapon throw is GG. So, that's it for this. I think we're getting a bit better. Now, we didn't go up too much on the elo, and this was like the only games that we played today. So we need to get more experience in, play pretty like more often than we have been, But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.